CashColorCannabis, high-level conversation on LivehiphopDaily.tv, sponsored by the Georgia Hemp Company. And if you were watching us on live, you did hear me in my normal rant about how I think Allen Iverson cannot survive in today's league. I ain't gonna say survive. Like, he could definitely ball, but the AI we saw, I don't see how that exists against the players he created. Like, I don't see that. You talking about dudes with, like, again, you talking 6'4", 6'5", some dudes 6'7", playing the point right now. Same speed, same ups, bigger, more length. Like, this is just a wrap for him. Like, you got to come off the bench. You got to be Isaiah Thomas.
He had a problem with coming off the bench, though.
Oh, he had a problem coming off the bench in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever forget, this man left the league because they wanted him to come off the bench. Like, he went to Memphis, said, I'm going to come off the bench. Got to Memphis, sat on the bench and said, nope. Nope, I'm going to Turkey. 80 points in Europe.
Hey, man. Carmelo Anthony going through that same issue
right now. Carmelo Anthony, another one. Yo, after a while, you actually kind of, you morph to the point where you push yourself out the league. Like, what Carmelo Anthony do right now from a scoring perspective, you put a lot of people on. Like, no, you're not supposed to be 6'10" and doing what you're doing. But also now, it's like, shit, we got a ton of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a ton of you.
It's not a mid-range game anymore.
And the shit you can't do is now being fucking, it's magnified. Same thing with AI. The shit you can't do would be magnified now. But anywho, who's D. Horton, man?
What's good with it, man? Thank you for having me.
No problem. I get into basketball conversations.
I love basketball. Yeah. I'm a basketball fanatic.
All right.
But I'm D. Horton, man. A.K.A. Day the rapper. Your favorite rapper, you feel me?
All right.
I'm a lyricist.
Yes.
You know, a conscious rapper, if you will. I'm cool with that. I don't mind that.
That's what's up. My man, he owned that tag. He said, I'm a conscious rapper.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Well, at least you know your lane, man.
For sure.
That's what's up. So, I know a little bit of your backstory, man. Shout out to my man Scotty ATL for introducing me. Matter of fact, it was a phone call last week. He hit me on the phone. Was like, man, D. Horton.
That's my dog, man, for sure.
I got you, Scotty. Man, talk to us about how you found yourself into music, though.
So I started music probably 2012.
Okay.
I was going into my junior year in college, my sophomore year in college.
Now, wait, we were talking about 2012. Was Instagram around then?
Instagram was like, that was probably the year I started my Instagram.
Because we was having that debate earlier. We was trying to figure out this dude, by the time he went to jail, was Instagram out. And I was like, 2012? I'm not sure.
Nah, I mean, I was definitely, Twitter page was starting around that time.
Gotcha.
So Instagram might have been like 2014, 13, 14.
This might have been a time when Twitter was still connected to MySpace.
There you go. It might be. It might actually be that time.
That all happened. I feel old as hell now, right?
I still got a MySpace page. I never deleted it.
You know what's funny? If I Google mines every once in a while just to get Throwback Thursday pictures.
Nah, I never deleted my MySpace page.
I don't think you can at this point, man. Like, I found, like I said, I just type in my name and I'm looking like, damn, my MySpace page still out?
Son, I was lying by my age and everything.
Shit.
But yeah, so as far as my music career, I was an athlete. I played football at Mississippi State and Jackson State. I played cornerback. And I suffered a career-ending or career-altering injury. Just brought me to a fork in the road. I had to decide whether I was going to rehab and work hard and if this was really even my dream. You know, my NFL dreams were far before the injury.
Yeah.
So post-injury, you know, I was looking at an uphill battle. And so, you know, I decided that I just wanted to focus on my education. And then you go from 4:30 in the morning to 9:30, 10 o'clock when study hall is over with, being an athlete all day to literally just having to go to class. And I just found myself having too much time to think about, like, what could have been with football.
Let me tell you, I didn't do it on the D1 level. I did it on a lower level. But I feel you. That's a transition. Because I remember when I stopped playing basketball, that's the whole, like, you get used to that routine, especially if you do it over a long period of time.
Right. So our daily routine was 4:30 in the morning. We had to go work out with Coach Bayless. Shout out Coach Bayless. And then this is Coach Mullen's first year. He's Florida football coach now, but this is his first year at Mississippi State. Yeah. So we're setting the tone. Bayless kick our ass from 4:30 to 6:30. 7 go eat breakfast. Classes at 8 to like 1. Meetings at 2:30. Practice, dinner, study hall. Do it same thing 4:30 the next day.
And then you just done now.
And then you just done.
now you got a new routine.
And man. I mean, I was going through a hard because rehabbing my ATL. I was going through like depression, not having ball. I think I might have gone through a breakup at the time, so I wasn't even going to classes. I was just scared. I didn't even tell my parents. I took this next semester off and just was like sitting in my house is basically facing depression because, I mean, it's honestly, most kids, when they get a scholarship to a D1 school, people, they don't understand the pressure that comes with that.
Yeah.
From your city.
Yeah.
From your high school.
From the school.
From the school and the fans.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a lot to deal with an 18, 19-year-old kid, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you mashed through that, man, and you found a way to turn it into some music.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. So at what point did the music hit you where you was like, all right, so this is where I'm going to transition from football to?
So I had homies. I wasn't even interested in doing the music. I just always been a fanatic, you know, like a Eminem, Nas, Andre 3000 fanatic, Tupac. Big into like the super lyricists, the people who would use the words I had to go look up sometimes. Yeah. I was big into that. So I was always writing music, writing poetry, writing books. I never thought I would be rapping. I just had a homie, a mutual friend who had a studio in his room. And all my partners was like, man, come to the studio. And I just went. And probably like 4 or 5 months after that, I found myself being in the studio by myself. So, you know, normally it's something that you have to think about. But when it was coming that natural for me, where I was like finding myself in there, you know, just by myself for no reason, I was like, oh, this must be what I need to do.
Word,
Fell in love with it.
Well, that music definitely took you places, man, because I know it caught the eye of my man Scotty ATL. I told you how Scotty actually hit me on the line like a couple of days ago and said, yo, I need to introduce you to my man D. Horton.
Absolutely.
How'd you link up with Scotty in the first place?
Scotty's creative director, Joe Dent. He and I are from the same city, same street, actually, Hughes Road in Columbus, Mississippi. And he's older. So coming up, I don't know if we've crossed paths. We might have mutual friends or something like that. But, you know, once my name started to become prevalent with the music scene, obviously we're from a small city, 25,000 people. Of course he heard about me. And when I moved out here, I just reached out to anybody I could because I felt like, you know, I had run my circuit in Mississippi. I had toured 3 years straight independently. And, you know, that's only so many platforms you have to perform and to get yourself heard. So when I came to Atlanta, I knew I probably would have to start over, and I just wanted to give myself the best chance of meeting the right people by linking up, connecting with anybody I knew. So I reached out to Joe and every other name I could find, and I mean, he basically came to me with the big brother mentality immediately because he saw the potential I had, and then from there we just built the organic relationship with him, the Cool Club, and Scotty, and you know started going on the road and opening up for him, and it just built from there.
Word, you know, a lot of times I've heard other artists say how difficult it is to be signed and work with another artist.
Right.
You know, even with Scotty, Scotty's a different breed. You know, he lives by stream, so I'm pretty sure that he puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people. What's it like working with an act like Scotty, and what have you taken from him since you started working with him?
Well, so I don't necessarily subscribe to the cliche about. You know, I like to consider myself the most coachable athlete there ever was. Okay. And I played quarterback all my life, and so you know, I pretty much assumed the role of coach on the field. And because of that, my stepfather was a football coach as well. I just don't take criticism personally. Yeah. It's not if someone comes to me and say, okay, well, you know, you need to put more time in the studio. It's not gonna hurt my feelings, because ultimately I believe that his goals and my goals coincide. He's an independent guy. He understands the ins and outs of independence. He respects me wanting to remain independent, and again, you know, I looked at it spiritually. Yeah. It wasn't forced. I didn't like have to go jump over a bridge or through hula hoops to link with him. You know, it kind of happened to where it was almost difficult not to link with him, and because of that, I felt like God aligned it.
All right, that's what's up, man. Let's talk about Lighthouse. You know, I know that's a new project that's about to drop. What's the vibes that we catching from Lighthouse, and who are some of the producers you work with?
So Lighthouse is out. It came out on 6/16. That's Tupac's birthday.
Oh, so it already dropped. I thought that recently dropped. My bad.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
So I mixed it up a little bit. I have an in-house producer who I've started my career with, KT. He's on there a couple of times, and he and Joe executive produced the album. But then working with Scotty, him wanting to, help me diversify my sound and build it to a sound that's marketable for radio platforms and different avenues like that. We reached out to, he helped me with the beat selection and the track selection. We got Kato is on there. Luke Crowder from Birmingham, Alabama is on there. Tay Beats from West Point, Mississippi is actually a homeboy of mine. I didn't even know he was producing.
Dang, so you pulled out of Mississippi.
So I pulled out I pulled out basically, people who I felt like deserve, much like myself, have put in the work in and might not have the platform. Any chance I can to highlight people like that. Yeah. I try my best to.
Let me tell you, one thing we miss a lot about when we talk about the South coming up in the music wise is Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Besides Crooked Letters and Crit and shouts to my brother Son, you know what I mean? There's definitely a lot of talent coming out of Mississippi. Do you feel like we bypass, you know what I'm saying, Mississippi when it comes to when it comes to Southern rap and shining a light on Southern rap, like we bypass what's happening in Mississippi?
I mean, I battle with that question because I know how many people work hard to not include Mississippi personally.
Yeah.
So I don't know I think if you truly highlighted the greats in music and hip hop specifically, all their roots go back to Mississippi. Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Brandy, Ray J, Pee Wee Longway, Rick Ross. I mean, it's a pride thing. I think that once people become more proud of being from Mississippi, then the recognition that's due will be there because people have, gone and done things that probably never be achieved again, and they're from Mississippi. You just don't know it.
Facts, man. Let's talk about the weed game, man. So you was a D1 athlete. Going through an athlete, I do get how you're gonna get drug tested. You get watched over a whole lot. Were you consuming while you were playing, or when did you start getting into consuming?
Again, man, I was always aware of the weed culture. I come from a family who is pretty open about things like that, and I just was disciplined. I had no problems with my teammates who smoked weed. I didn't feel like they were less accountable. Then I just didn't think that I could manage it, timing myself. Because, it's for me, it was more so once I suffered my injury and I was going through, it was literally the worst pain I ever felt in my life, tearing my ACL. I didn't just want to be popping pills all day. And I just was like, well, what can I do other than just taking Vicodin, Lortabs, like all day? I'm like, no, I don't know if I wasn't feeling right.
No, I feel you're not alone, because even today when I was people hit me about Gronkowski today. He jumped into the CBD game. He's not alone. Shout out to my brother Marvin Washington from the New York Jets. I know that he's deep in CBDs. There's a lot of athletes, especially professional football players who are now leaning towards trying to find alternative medicines.
I would argue that athletes are actually at the forefront, and I don't know if I should say that, but by me being an athlete and now being a rapper, I know that. I know that behind closed doors, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes.
Bro, you ain't got to tell me. Matter of fact, Matt Barnes invited me to his weed party.
Okay,
nigga, you ain't got
football.
To tell
me. And current players as well. I definitely would never name current players, but players that have retired will tell you that they smoked during games sometimes.
So we learned that last year during 420 when they did that roundtable on Bleacher Report. Yeah, you learned a lot of athletes literally spoke during that time. So what's next for you music-wise, man? What can we expect from you coming down the pipeline?
So Scotty and I are putting together a string of shows starting September 6th at Smith's Old Bar. We have tickets for those. Tickets for those are available. And during that time, I just want to create music in this mindset that I'm in now. Obviously, I spent a lot of my time just being very eclectic with my process. Sometimes it's me and the engineer, me and the producer sitting in there all alone. I don't want anybody to come in. I wrote these real deep, very poised, conscious narratives about society. And I just got to a point where, I felt like I was drowning myself. And I want to get in a position where I'm actually telling my story, and I want to invite people, to know more about my other sides and just what I feel like is wrong with society.
Facts, man.
So, I'm just using the opportunity Scotty's provided me to be around other producers, be in different environments. I'm more in the club now than I've ever been in my life. So it's different vibrations in there than it is when I'm just sitting on my beanbag getting high, writing music, looking out the window. Word.
All right, last one for you, bro. When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered for the most when it comes to the music?
Definitely my intelligence. I feel like there's been a plethora of articulate individuals in hip-hop, KRS-One, Nasir, Andre 3000, Jay-Z, Tupac, who might have been overlooked for their literal prowess. These people are in the same light as Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou.
Bro, I call it perfect poetry. So, Nas is perfect poetry to me. Like, if you break down Illmatic, that's poetry. That you could write that out, and that could be a book they teach.
I argue, like, Illmatic, College Dropout, and Pimp a Butterfly are my top three.
Bro, that's hard body, man. We got to discuss top threes another day, man.
Right. For me, personally, top three.
Yeah, that's what it is, boy. Well, Horton, I appreciate you coming through.
Absolutely, man.
Before we fade out, let people know how they can find you online, if they can catch up with the music. I know you got a website. Let them know where you can touch base with you.
For sure, man. God bless. Thank you guys for having me, man. The energy is great. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @KS_D Horton. Spelled like Horton, here's a who. DayTheRapper.com. Spelled all correct. You can go get the album. It's also available on all streaming platforms. Again, we have a show. It's Friday, September 6th. That's next Friday at Smith's Old Bar here in Atlanta. Craziest show. Scotty got a crazy show. I got surprises, man, you know. And I like to connect to the people, so if you reach out, I like to reach back.
Word life, man. I appreciate you for coming through, my G.
God bless. Thank you, man.
No doubt. And that's CashColorCannabis, a high level of conversation, sponsored by the Georgia Hemp Company.